Okay, I will start today's session. In previous class also we discussed about organizational setup. That means there is a separate ministry for MSME sector. This ministry is going to look after the policies and the initiatives need to be taken to encourage people to take or to become entrepreneurs. Okay, so that for that there is a separate ministry. So that we discussed in the previous class. Okay, so this is the organizational setup of MSME ministry. Okay, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is the administrative ministry in the Government of India for all matters relating to micro, small and medium enterprises. The role of this ministry is to design and implement policies and programs through its field organizations and attached offices for promotion and growth of MSME sector. There are many institutions and organizations which comes under this MSME ministry, okay, which will look after implementation of policies and providing consultancy and training facilities to support MSME sector. The Ministry of MSME as a development organization. This is the structure of the MSME ministry. This is given in the textbook. Okay, it consists of minister, minister of state, secretary, then secretary to these three officials. Okay, so they are IAS officers. Minister and minister of state, they are politicians who are elected as MP. Okay, it may be member of parliament, it may be Rajya Sabha member or Lok Sabha member. Okay, they will become minister and minister of state, and these are IAS officers. And again, there are different organizations which comes under this IAS officers. Okay, IAS officer of additional secretary and joint secretary grade. Okay, so they are aiding these organizations. Okay. Next, in previous class we discussed about who is the minister for MSME. Okay, who is the minister? Okay, in previous class we discussed who is the minister of MSME. Okay, in previous class we discussed Nitin Gadkari is the minister of MSME, and there is minister of state. His name is Pratap Chandra Sarangi. Okay, this is the organization structure in the website of MSME. This is the upgraded organization structure. Recently, they have added another segment, that is data analytics and technical coordination section, which comes under DDG. Okay, next, there are three major departments under MSME development organization. So MSME development department headed by the development commissioner in the rank of additional secretary. This operates the MSME development institutes, testing centers, tool rooms and technology development centers and provides services to MSMEs. Some of these organizations will provide training. Okay, so that these MSMEs can get skilled labor. Okay, so that is also another role played by this MSME minister. Some of the training institutes which comes under MSME ministry, so they are going to provide training so that skills of people are enhanced and these MSMEs can hire them to do various jobs. Okay, next, small and medium enterprises department headed by an official at joint secretary level. This department looks after Small Medium Enterprises Division, National Small Industries Corporation, National Institute of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, which focus on the development of entrepreneurs as well as entrepreneurial projects in the MSME sector. Next, Agricultural and Rural Industries Department, headed by a joint secretary level official. So that means these are IAS officers. This has 3 subsidiary organizations: Khadi and Village Industries Corporation, Kair Board, and Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization. So these focus on their respective domain. So you can find Kair Board even in Asan, in Arsikere Taluk. Okay, you can find some Kair industries, which also take suggestions from this organization. Okay, so there are some small scale industries, or there are some micro and small scale industries. Okay, in Arsikere. So they will make use of the raw material available from the coconut plantations. Okay. And similarly, in some villages, so you can find handlooms and some small village industries. Okay, so that comes under Khadi and Village Industries Corporation. Okay, in Karnataka, there is a famous organization which works on this Khadi. Okay, so the name of that organization is Charaka. Okay, so that is a group of people who work to make Khadi products, and there is another organization called Desi. So they will look after sales of these Khadi products. Okay, from the organization called Charaka. So these are situated in Shivamogga in Sagar Taluk. Okay, so like that, there are many organizations throughout the country. Main services rendered by so this office is advising the government in policy formulation for the promotion and development of MSMEs, providing techno-economic and managerial consultancy, common facilities and extension centers, then providing facilities for technology upgradation, modernization, quality improvement and infrastructure, developing human resources through training and skill upgradation, providing economic information services. That means providing information regarding policies related to MSME. Okay, is the role of MSME ministry. It has to frame policies and it has to create awareness among entrepreneurs regarding the policies. Okay, that will be done by all these organizations. The main intention of this MSME ministry is to support entrepreneurs who are running micro, small and medium scale industries. Maintaining a close liaison means close contact or coordination. Okay, maintaining a close contact with the central ministries, Niti Aayog. Earlier, we used to call this as Planning Commission. Okay, the present government renamed Planning Commission as Niti Aayog. Okay, state governments, financial institutes, and other organizations concerned with development of MSMEs. So again, this MSME ministry will coordinate with various other ministries, okay, to address the problems of MSME sector. This ministry will coordinate, or it will act as a bridge between entrepreneurs and government. That is another role of MSME ministry. It has to look after the problems and the measures that need to be taken to ensure growth of this sector. Okay. And what is the full form of Niti Aayog? What is the full form? Okay, the full form of Niti Aayog is National Institution for Transforming India. Okay, so that is the new name given to Planning Commission. Next, evolving and coordinating policies and programs for development of MSMEs as ancillaries to large industries. Okay, what do you mean by ancillaries to large industries? We consider some industries as ancillary industries. Okay, what do you mean by ancillary industry? Okay, this we discussed by considering the example of Vistran company. Okay, that acts as an ancillary company to Apple. Okay, similarly there are many ancillary companies or ancillary industries. Most of these MSMEs will play a role as ancillary industries. What do you mean by that? Hmm? So ancillary industries means, so these industries will provide components to large scale industries. Okay, if there is a Toyota plant in Bangalore, okay, then there are many small scale industries around Bangalore which will provide some components to Toyota company. That means, so these small scale companies which are going to supply some parts, manufacture and supply them to Toyota, so they are called as ancillary industries. Okay, so that means these large scale industries depend on these ancillary industries for some of the components. Okay, they are mutually dependent. If there is problem in small scale industries, obviously that will have an impact on the large scale industry. If there is some problem in the large scale industry, obviously that will also have an impact on the small scale industries or this MSME sector. Next, government policy initiatives for MSMEs. Developing entrepreneurship in the country is often seen as the responsibility of government. So that's why from the beginning of this course, we are discussing a lot about government policies and the role of government and the preferences of government. The reason is, so the policies are framed by the government. If there is any problem in the MSME sector that need to be addressed by the government has to do. No one can do those things. Okay, government has a huge role to play in ensuring development or growth of the MSME sector. That's why the policies of the government play a vital role. If MSME is not performing well, so that responsibility need to be taken by the government. No one else can take that responsibility. It is the responsibility of the government to ensure these MSMEs will perform well. Policies need to be upgraded or need to be framed such that those policies are pro MSME or MSME friendly. Okay, so that's why. So developing entrepreneurship in the country is often seen as the responsibility of the government. Government of India periodically revises policies and programs to encourage, support and promote micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act. This act was enacted in 2006. Okay, most of the are the laws related to MSME sector are based on this act only. MSMED Act is a comprehensive legislation for the promotion, development and enhancement of the competitiveness of the MSME sector. This act came into effect from 2nd October 2006, which is the core purpose of strengthening the Indian MSME and making them globally competitive. Okay, so there is a relation between the date of announcement of this act, why it was implemented on October 2nd. What is the reason? Hmm? What is the importance of October 2nd? October 2nd ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ?
Gandhi Jayanti.
Okay, then what is the relation between Mahatma Gandhi and MSME sector? Huh? What is the relation between Mahatma Gandhi and MSME sector? Why this act was?
Mahatma Gandhi gives importance to MSME sector.
Okay, so Mahatma Gandhi gave a theoretical or conceptual framework for this country to give preference to small scale industries. Okay, so you may heard about Gram Swaraj. So Gram Swaraj is nothing but, okay, so bringing industries to villages so that people can stay in the villages and they can earn money and they can live there itself. Okay, that is the thought process of Mahatma Gandhiji. Okay, Gandhiji concentrated a lot, or Gandhiji provided a theoretical framework or conceptual framework for decentralization and even for bringing bringing industries to villages. Okay, he always suggested policymakers, okay, so to support rural industries, rural small scale industries rather than supporting big industries. Okay, so that's why by considering his contribution towards concern towards MSME, this act was brought on October 2nd, 2006. That means almost 14 years back. This act was brought. The act came into effect from 2nd October 2006 with the core purpose of strengthening the Indian MSME and making them globally competitive. Okay, this is the this is the major issue. Okay, and the present problem with MSME sector is how they can compete with the world. Okay, globally competitive means a product produced in Bangalore has to compete with a product produced in USA or a product produced in China. Okay, that is the global competition. Even a product produced in a village may have to compete with in the global market. In order to compete in the global market, what are the considerations? What will ensure a product will sustain in the global market? What are the factors which ensure a product will be successful in the global market? Global market ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ ಫೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Why China is able to rule the global market? We have an example. Okay, so in the manufacturing sector, China is ruling the global market. No doubt in that. Okay, we may have different view in terms of the politics in China and other things, but when it comes to manufacturing sector, okay, so China is ruling the global market. So what made China to take advantage in the global market, whereas India can't? So ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಚೀನಾ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗಿದೆ? Why Chinese products get huge customer base in any country? What is the reason?
Because of cheap rate, sir.
Cheap rate. Okay, one of the major reason or one of the major factor need to be considered is cost of a product, okay, and quality of a product. So if you are able to produce a quality product at least cost, so that will provide you an advantage in the global market. If the cost of your product is high and the quality is same as your competitor, you cannot survive in the global market. Okay, and one of the policies of our government is affecting even MSME sector. That policy is, if government of India imposes restrictions on procuring raw materials from China, then obviously the cost of production of many components will increase. If the cost of these products will increase, then they cannot compete in the global market. Okay, this is the another concern of the MSME sector. So government cannot simply impose restrictions to get some political mileage. It has to look at other factors. We are in the globalized world where our MSME or any sector, any company has to compete in the global market. Okay, in order to compete in the global market, every company will try to manufacture its product at least cost as much as possible. They will always try to reduce the manufacturing cost so that they can gain an advantage in the global market. Okay, so these are the considerations. So in order to be in the global market or global competition, two factors need to be considered. One is cost, another one is quality. Okay, MSMED Act 2006 is the first act exclusively for micro, small and medium enterprises in India. Okay, the encouragement for MSME has started in 2006. Okay, so now some are in a trend that okay, before 2014 nothing was there in India. So some people will project like that. The fact is not like that. Okay, from past 70 years we are able to do a lot of things. Some good things, some bad things, some good decisions, some bad decisions. That is secondary. But okay, so every government has played a role in developing our country. Okay, every government did some good work, took some bad decisions. Okay, we can criticize based on the bad decision, that is secondary, but we cannot say that okay, so everything was done after 2014. That is a misconception and that is a misinformation. Okay, this MSME Act was brought in 2006 by considering the importance of MSME sector. Okay, so and the contribution of MSME sector towards growth of the country and towards providing employment opportunities and supporting entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, so this act was enacted in 2006. Over the years, based on the changing economic scenario, amendments were made to this act. Okay, that means every day there are changes in the global market. By considering the changes in the global scenario, acts need to be upgraded. Okay, so even this act was upgraded by with the help of the amendments. Okay. Such example is you can consider the definition of micro, small and medium scale industries. Few days before we discussed about definition of micro, small and medium scale industries. Even those definitions are outdated. Okay, 6 months back, government has amended this act and they have given the new definition. Okay, so that you can see in this on the MSME website. New definition is available and this was applicable from July 2020. Okay, from last 5-6 months back. Okay, this is the notification related to that. Okay, I don't know how many can read Hindi, but government gave first preference to Hindi. I don't know why. Okay, next. So it is available in English also. This was notified on 1st June 2020. Okay, so then according to this amendment to MSMED Act 2006, okay, now a micro enterprises is one where the investment in the plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 1 crore rupees and turnover does not exceed 5 crore. Small enterprises is one where investment does not exceed 10 crore and turnover does not exceed 50 crore. Medium scale enterprise is one where initial investment does not exceed 50 crore and turnover does not exceed 250 crores. Okay, and this came to effect from 1/7/2020. Okay, so this is about this is one of the amendment to this act. Okay, so if you read this here, micro, small and medium enterprises development act 2006. Okay, for that, so they brought an amendment to change or to upgrade the definition of MSME. Okay, now we have seen this notification. They used Hindi. Okay, why the government gave preference to Hindi than English? What is the reason? So for you, which one is easy to read, English or Hindi?
English, sir.
English. Then why government give preference to Hindi? Oh, okay. Which is the national language of India?
Hindi, sir.
Any other answers?
There is no national language in India, sir.
There is no national language. Okay, what about others? Hmm? So the fact is, as Pramod said, there is no national language. Then why union government is imposing Hindi? So that is the question we need to ask. Okay, so we cannot read Hindi, we cannot understand Hindi. Then also why union government is so preferring to use Hindi, so that we need to look into. Okay, so instead of making this gadget available only in Hindi and English, if the same thing is translated to Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu, to all regional languages, then it will be easy for people who don't know English to read. Okay, that should be done by the union government. Instead of that, what they are doing is they are propagating Hindi. Okay, and that's why there is a lot of opposition from many states, including Tamil Nadu. Even in Karnataka, some will do at times trending against imposition of Hindi. Okay, so these are the things we have to concentrate on. Otherwise, in upcoming days, it will be difficult. Government will go on imposing Hindi instead of regional languages. Then that will be problem for people who cannot read English or Hindi. Okay, even if it is in English, somehow we can manage. In future, if the trend continues like this, there may be a day where government may use only Hindi. Okay, so then imagine the condition. Okay, so that's why many are considering this as a serious issue. Okay, government, instead of imposing Hindi on us, it should treat all regional languages equal. The reason is, so there is no national language. That is a myth. That is a misinformation. We don't have any national language. Okay, so if someone say Hindi is the national language, so you should educate them. There is no national language, and government has to treat all regional languages equally. They should not impose Hindi. And if you have traveled in metro, Bangalore metro, okay, you can find Kannada. They will give instructions in Kannada and English. Again, it is a result of, okay, so protest from many activists. Okay, simply they don't do this. Okay, because of the opposition from people from Karnataka. So instead of Hindi, they are using Kannada in metro because of the pressure from the people of Karnataka. Okay, if we don't put pressure, they will go on imposing in Hindi. Even if you go to fill a form in banks, you can find Hindi and English. Who can read Hindi and who can fill the forms in Hindi? Instead of Hindi, if there is Kannada, okay, many people can understand Kannada, many people can read Kannada. Okay, so these are the issues that need to be addressed. Not only that, nowadays, okay, some of the small and medium scale industries, they are considering this language issue. So they are, some are providing services in the regional languages and they are able to attract consumers. Okay, so you can consider this as a marketing strategy also. Okay, if you are providing a service in regional language, so you may be able to gain some market based on identifying this gap in the using language. Okay, big companies, they may not use regional languages, but as a small company, if you are concentrating on a small market, okay, you can consider the regional issues and you can promote your product by using regional languages. Okay, that will attract customers also. And some companies are adopting this strategy also. Even some MNCs also, they also realize the importance of regional markets or regional languages, and they have started giving services in regional languages also. Okay, so even if you look at some of the ATM machines, earlier you don't have the option of choosing Kannada. Okay, now you can find Kannada in most of the ATM machines. Again, it is because of the pressure from the consumers. As a consumer, if we don't put pressure on the market, okay, market will take us for granted. Okay, so these are the issues related to language and other things. Okay, so next, so like that, amendments will be done. We discussed about a latest amendment to the meaning or the definition of MSME. Okay, recently in June, okay, they have amended, and now we have a new definition from last 5-6 months. Okay, salient features of this act. The act, in response to the changing economic scenario, provides separate definitions for micro, small and medium enterprises based on their annual revenue, replacing the definition that relied on self-declared investment and on plant and machine. As we seen, okay, so again, the present definition also may be revised in upcoming days. Okay, that is also possible. The Act has been responsible for bringing about some much needed initiatives, such as the establishment of a statutory board for MSME called the National Board for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, which replaced the non-statutory Small Scale Industries Board. Okay, what is the difference between statutory and non-statutory board? What is the difference? What do you mean by statutory and what do you mean by non-statutory? Okay, statutory means, so it will be based on a special law framed for that particular purpose. Non-statutory means that is based on the general guidelines or general laws. Okay, so now it is a statutory board. The reason is we have a separate act for MSME. That means we have a separate laws for MSME. Okay, this board will work according to the framework of the MSME Act. Okay, that's why it is a statutory board. So that means it will work based on a particular law framed for that particular board. That is the statutory. Okay. So earlier there was a board called Small Scale Industries Board that was non-statutory, but now we have a MSME board, National Board for MSME, which is a statutory board. That means it will have separate laws which are framed specifically for this MSME sector. Okay, the Act is also responsible for the establishment of an advisory committee to assist the board and the central and state governments to support MSME. Next, the Act has simplified the process of registration as well as the closure of business in all the 3 categories of enterprises. It introduced schemes to facilitate timely payments to MSME and credit and specific funds for the promotion and development. These are the initiatives. Introduction of public procurement policy by giving preference in government procurements to products and services of MSMEs and enhancement of competitiveness of MSME. Okay, so government took some measures to support MSME sector. One such measure is whenever government is buying some products or government is outsourcing the services. So government intentionally, it has taken an initiative to give preference to MSME sector. Okay, one such example is, suppose, okay, if Karnataka government is purchasing uniform for school children, okay, instead of purchasing from a big company, if government is giving preference to handlooms, okay, that is an initiative to support handlooms, which are small enterprises. Okay, similarly, if government is willing to support MSME, it can do. Okay, when government started supporting crony capitalists, like which we discussed earlier, then that will become problematic. Okay, government always should concentrate on MSME sector. That means small businessmen, small companies. Okay, because they are going to create a lot of employment opportunities, and they are going to boost entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, when MSME sector receives sufficient encouragement, sufficient support from the government, then many people will come forward to start their own business. When government don't support them, obviously they don't start their own business. Okay, so these are the consequences. By considering this, governments also take initiatives to support MSMEs by procuring products and by outsourcing the services provided by MSMEs. Okay, next, ease of registration process. To enable speed and ease of registration of MSMEs, a simple one-page registration form for online filling of Udyog Aadhaar memorandum is introduced. Okay, you can, if you are running a small enterprise, if you want to register that enterprise, you can do it online also. There is a, if you can go to MSME website and you will find the link. Okay, so UMM is one-page registration form which constitutes a self-declaration format under which the MSME will self-certify its existence, bank account details, promoter owner's Aadhaar details, and other minimum information required. Okay, by registration there are benefits and there are few problems also. Okay, benefits are suppose in the situation like lockdown. Okay, so government also realized that because of lockdown, it affected MSME sector. Okay, if government announces any monetary schemes to give some compensations, to give some credit benefits to MSME sector, then who can apply for taking these benefits? Again, one who have registered. Okay, if you have done registration, then you have the advantage to take benefits from the government. If you don't register, you cannot take benefits or you cannot claim to take these benefits. That is the advantage. The disadvantage is once you register, okay, government can look into your business. Okay, look into tax, whether you are paying tax properly or not. Okay, what is the exact turnover? All this data will become available to government, because since you are providing Aadhaar and other details, okay, so transactions are easily, it can be traced by the government. Okay, if you don't pay the tax properly, you can receive notices. This is another disadvantage, and many entrepreneurs are complaining about the notices that they are receiving from the IT department. Okay, some say, okay, after implementation of GST, it is difficult to run our business firms. Okay, so we are in loss. We cannot pay this much of tax. Like that, many are complaining about the present GST system. Okay, and even MSME sector is, to some extent, it is affected by GST also. This is the registration form. If you want to register your business, you can go to the website of MSME and you will find this link and you can register. So this is the single form, registration form. And again, if you can look at this registration form here also. Okay, so you can find the language which is highlighted, that is Hindi. Again, so most of us, most of Indians, we cannot understand or we cannot read Hindi. Then also, okay, most of the union government websites, services, banks, post office, everywhere they are imposing Hindi. Okay, in Karnataka, how many can understand Hindi? How many can read Hindi? So then also they are providing services in Hindi. Okay, so in this website also same thing. You can see. Okay, so everywhere there is Hindi. You cannot get this information in Kannada on this MSME website. RBI guidelines. RBI gave MSMEs an extension up to 180 days to clear their loans to banks. Okay, this is there in the textbook. Okay, after this also, again it is every day or for 6 months, 1 year, RBI also come up with some new measures or new initiatives to support MSME or to support business sector. Okay. Next, public procurement policy. The objective of this policy is promotion and development of micro and small enterprises by supporting them in marketing of products produced and services rendered by them. Okay, government has to support MSME. That means, okay, if some big corporate company is supplying some products at least cost, okay, instead of preferring that big company, government should choose the small companies. So that is the meaning. Okay, and at the same time, even government cannot always support. Okay, so even MSME must be able to produce products at competitive prices. So now ಸಣ್ಣ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ MRP ಇಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೈಸಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so people don't prefer. Again, there is another responsibility on the MSME sector or another pressure. Even though these businesses run at small scale, so they have to bring their products at competitive prices to market. Then they cannot survive. Okay, so that's why they need more support from the government in terms of tax exemption, in terms of credit support. That means loan at less interest rate. So like this, government can support. MSME need this kind of support. Otherwise, they cannot survive in the market. Okay, without government support, it is difficult for MSME to survive in the market. Next, Make in India policy. Make in India is a very famous term. Okay, when it was implemented, Make in India ಯಾವಾಗಲಿಂದ ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? From which year? ಯಾವಾಗ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಮೇಕ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾನ? Okay, it was announced in 2014. Almost 6 years over. Okay, now you can judge or you can evaluate the impact of Make in India on the MSME sector. Okay, whether it has contributed towards growth of MSME or just it is just a advertisement or promotional event, or does something you can find on the ground. Okay, so that you can look by looking at the data available. Okay, the Make in India strategy adopted by the Union government aims to facilitate investment. That means to attract investment, encourages innovation, enhance skill development, and build a sustainable ecosystem for the manufacturing infrastructure in the country. And the aim of this project was to, okay, so develop India as a manufacturing hub of the world. Okay, that was the aim of this project called Make in India. Okay, so the aim was to compete with China and become global manufacturing hub. But if you look what has happened today. Okay, so we failed to achieve this objective. Okay, so if you compare with China, so there again they are growing and we are declining. Okay, but the intention of this project was to make India a global hub in manufacturing sector. This initiative was launched on 25th September 2014, aimed at making India a global manufacturing hub and creating millions of jobs in the country. Okay, So we know the statistics related to employment creation that we discussed in one of the previous classes. Okay, in 2018, according to the data released by the government itself, okay, India faced very high unemployment rate in almost 45 years in the history of India. Okay, in 2018, so we were facing a more unemployment problem. Today also even that has grown further, but our policymakers are not ready to give the data. Okay, because data are not in support of what they are saying. Okay, there is a difference between ground reality and what policymakers are projecting. Because of this difference, nowadays they hesitate to release any data because that will showcase what has happened in on ground or in reality. Okay. Now, okay, search for data related to Make in India project. Okay, from 2014 to 2020, after implementation of Make in India, how many jobs were generated? Okay, how much investment was attracted? What is the contribution of Make in India to MSME sector? So, if you try to get answers for these questions, okay, you will realize what was assured and what is happening in reality. Okay, but it's a good measure, but it is failing because of various reasons. Uh, as a policy maker, you have to plan properly. Okay, simply you cannot make huge claims. Okay, you cannot be in the imaginary world. You have to understand the ground reality. You have to have a proper framework. Okay, you have to have proper plan, proper strategy. Then only you can execute your plan. Simply making statements, making huge. Okay, so you said that doesn't make sense. Many projects ended like this. You can consider Make in India and you can consider bullet train project. Okay, now where is the bullet train? When it will be
Sorry.
completed?
Project, sir.
Huh?
Smart city project.
Oh, smart city. Okay. How many smart cities, Sanjay? The other smart city last 6 years will develop a smart city India.
Yes, sir.
These are the problems. Again, if these things happened in reality, okay, so we are able to grow. So that's why government has to concentrate on Make in India. It has to concentrate on building smart cities. It has to concentrate on developing infrastructure. Okay, and it has to concentrate on investing in MSME sector. So government ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೋರ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಟು ಯೂತ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಚೀವಿಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್. ಸೊ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಆನ್ ಅದರ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್, okay, then it will these problems will grow further. Unemployment rate ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. MSME ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Nowadays, okay, from 1 week we are facing another problem. Okay, there is a lot of discussion about corona second wave. Okay, and this will have adverse impact. Again, government has to take decisions by looking at the ground reality. Okay, people don't have money, people don't have jobs. Okay, many companies are in crisis. If once again lockdown is imposed, many companies will close down, no doubt. Okay, many people will once again lose job. That's why, okay, so before taking any decision, government will has to look at the problem faced by people. Okay, simply they should not come at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and simply they should not do that. Okay, if they want to take any decision which will affect 130 crore people of this nation, okay, they have to look at the consequences. Now we are in a huge crisis. Okay, somehow some companies are able to pick up Okay, once again, if they go for these night curfews, these lockdowns and all those things, consequences are very severe. Okay, so again, so government has to make a balance between how to, okay, so uh, regulate corona and how to balance this economic growth or economic crisis. Okay, so they have to plan before taking any decisions, and government should not take decision based on our news channels. Okay, so news channels will always spread misinformation. Okay, so they want to again gain attention of people. They don't they don't show any information. Always they will mislead the people. Okay. So next, this completes this topic. Okay, I will continue in next class. Before that, I will discuss on feedback of CAE 3.